Hello and welcome one and all, I am Old School Gamer 1971, a special shout out to Millie and Lloyd. Hope you're all having a great day and are staying safe. Today's subject matter is Amnesia Rebirth. Before we begin, if you enjoy the video, give it a big thumbs up, like, and if it pleases you, check out my channel and subscribe. So without further ado,
It's not there won't make it go away.
Amnesia Rebirth is a psychological horror game developed by the same developers as the original Amnesia, Frictional Games. It released for the PlayStation 4 in 2020. It is kind of a sequel to arguably the best horror game ever. It is a standalone game, so you don't need to have played the original. It would not really be right to compare the two games because the original is iconic. This could never measure up. So let's see how long that lasts. Frictional Games are a Swedish indie developer, established way back in 2007. As stated already, they are the developers of Amnesia, but also developed the Penumbra trilogy and Soma, so definitely stuck in the horror genre, happily. This is their first game in 5 years, so no pressure lads and lasses. One of the few developers that I've played their entire back catalogue and enjoyed every damn game. Bang on. You play as Tarzi Trinon, a French archaeologist on an expedition to colonial Africa. The year is 1937, about 98 years after the first game. As the game opens up, there is a plane crash, which the plane crashes into an Algerian desert. Tarzi is knocked unconscious in the crash. When she comes round, she has amnesia. She remembers everything up until the crash, and then it's all blank. So she sets out in search of Salem, her husband who was accompanying her on the expedition. She must search temples and the like in search of her husband, and to rediscover her memory, to ultimately get help and escape this nightmare. So is this Amnesia Rebirth, or is it Ambrosia Returd? So let's talk a bit about the puzzles in the game. The puzzles alone are not really that hard. Factor in the psychological horror and it can affect your ability to complete them. This works rather well, and whilst nothing new, it's executed rather well. Whilst the game has a plot, I would say that it isn't everything. This game is not just going from A to B. One of the first temples you end up in a sandstorm. You can only see about 5 feet in front of you, then it all just becomes shadow. You must navigate your way through to get further. You can't even see the floor by the ending section. I guess I'm saying that this is no walking simulator I have ever played anyway. It's not a difficult game, you just have to keep your nerve. In time it does get harder, but never feels impossible. It's nice to see a horror game without weapons that isn't just stealth/chase. So let's talk about graphics. I like the lighting in this game, it adds to the overall atmosphere. When you spend too long in the darkness, you hear Tarzi complaining to you. When we keep hearing what the next generation is going to bring to gaming, lighting is mentioned a lot. This game uses light in several ways. Seeing it come splashing down from the holes in the ceiling of the temples is great to look at. I will also say the level of detail in the game is also impressive for an indie title. Not just the surrounding debris, the desert itself and the temples all just look spot on. It's a world I enjoyed my time in, especially when things started going south, when we got more paranormal, which is very quickly. I was surprisingly impressed by what I was looking at.
Is anyone there? Salim!
And so on to sound of the ambient kind. This works rather well. It started for me when I noticed the sound as you cooked in the sun. When you go into the darkness, it is the bugs first of all, but at the beginning you can't see them. Later on, you see the little buggers. It's things like this that set the mood. Tarzi talking at certain points about what is going on. When she becomes distressed, I think makes you care more about the character. Put on some headphones and it becomes next level. The horror genre needs sound to be scary. You can only really be scared once by visual horror. Sound can happen over and over. So if you get this game, stick on your headphones to get the most out of this game. You will not be disappointed. So let's get one thing out of the way while summing up this review. Do not compare the original to this game. If you don't compare the game, it is a lot more fun to play. Dare I say it, that the game is pretty damn good. For some, this is pretty much a walking simulator with puzzles, but that is not the whole story. The psychological side of the game works well, and certainly drew me into the game. It kept me there for 3 hours. It went beyond what I'd expected, especially considering the reviews I'd already seen. So yes, I will platinum this game at some point, because I really did enjoy this game. Any fan of the horror genre should play this game. So Amnesia Rebirth, this most definitely is, and earns a solid 8.7 out of 10. I'm off to put on my headphones and try not to scream too loud like a little girl.
Where in the name of God? Look at this place. It can't be real.
And it's done. If you found this video interesting or have any suggestions, please comment down below, as it will put a big old smile on this old face. Let's get the conversation started. I will answer you all. I post new content every week. Have a great day one and all, and thank you for your support. This has been Old School Gamer 1971, signing off.